These days, nearly every company is a technology company, or they better become one soon, even yours. And businesses that embrace this kind of thinking will stand apart, but like everything make or break, a change like this brings new complications, new obstacles, like finding the right talent, and just keeping up with the pace of innovation and customer expectations of quality and speed that are, let's just say, challenging. Build as a Service helps organizations clear the hurdles, providing the ability to not only compete, but lead. Built on the as a service model, BAS is your seamless access to the right expertise, working in teams to rapidly create and deliver. Totally flexible, totally scalable, and absolutely predictable. Build as a Service is that always ready, instantly available engine that helps you craft custom-built modern software, the software your business runs on, and the products and experiences your customers love, all while harnessing the data that helps you see around corners, so you always know what's coming. You could say that Build as a Service is all about closing the distance between concept and creation, ideation and revolution, now and next. And it'll help you build your future today.
In today's episode, we're going to have a very special guest. He's an award-winning tech writer, an amazing storyteller, and he's published over 100 articles about DevOps, Kubernetes, Docker, and so on. So without further ado, let's all welcome Pavan to the show. Hey Pavan, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here today with me.
Thank you, Renan.
And I guess just before we start, I just wanted to congratulate you because I mean, this happened last year, but maybe some people don't know that you won some awards, right, as a contributor of the year for 3 different categories. Can you quickly talk about those awards?
Yeah, first I won my awards on Hacker Noon. I was writing most of the articles for Hacker Noon in the beginning. So when it comes to Docker, Kubernetes, and DevOps, so I won in these 3 categories the best contributor award in these 3 categories, and also recently on DZone I won DevOps Man of the Year 2020. So yeah.
That's amazing, and I'm super glad that we're recognizing those who put so much effort in sharing their ideas, right, with the community. So yeah, huge congratulations to you.
Thanks.
And yeah, and just before we get started about like understanding your journey and everything, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Pavan Belagatti, and I'm from India. I'm a tech storyteller, writer, and a community building enthusiast in a nutshell. So, and I also call myself a DevOps influencer these days, since I write and talk a lot about DevOps. And I currently work at JFrog as a community engagement specialist. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's me.
Awesome. And I have a quick question, just as an icebreaker before we get started. It might sound a little bit weird, the question, but don't take it too seriously. So if you were stuck in an island, what technology would you use to escape this island?
This is funny. Okay. I think Docker maybe, because, as we know, Docker is based on the containerization concept. Hence, I can package myself in a container safely and ship to the nearest town or something like that, where I can find people to help me or save me. Yeah. Docker is the answer.
I love that answer. I thought about Docker as well because of the whale, that I could just jump on a whale and go.
Yeah. That's one
awesome.
part. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So so just to understand about your story a little bit more. So, but back when you kind of like started your career in IT, what was really your strategy to break into the industry?
Yeah, well, I didn't start my career in DevOps company initially. So I started as a digital marketing professional and found my interest in DevOps on the way. After when I saw a huge surge in cloud companies and startups growing in Bangalore, India, since I stay in Bangalore. So I didn't have the initial skill set, but I acquired them slowly while working in the company called Shippable, which was a CI/CD platform, which was then acquired by JFrog. So over the years, I acquired skills like writing on technology topics, especially on DevOps and cloud native tech, understanding how different DevOps tools work, relationship and community building, making videos and public speaking. These are the things I acquired on the way on my journey.
Oh, that's really interesting. I think this is something that we don't see every day, right? Especially coming from marketing all the way to DevOps. Yeah, right. And do you remember
Yes.
like the first technology that you learned?
First technology, like I said, I was in digital marketing. The first technology about DevOps, if you ask me, the first
Yeah,
technology I learned was about Docker,
Docker.
because my CEO told me when he hired me, "Hey, Pavan, you need to come up with an article on Docker." So
Mm.
that's how I started researching about Docker, the containerization concept, and how Docker helps developers to ship, fast.
Oh, I see, I see. And do you remember how was your strategy to learn something? Because Docker is not the easiest thing to learn, or let's say, right? Especially for those who are coming from other industries. So, what was really your strategy to learn the tool?
My strategy, not basically, since I was in tech marketing, not the core technology concepts. What he told me to learn, he told me to come up with most of the concept, the overview concept, how Docker works, what are the components of Docker. So I went on to different videos. I searched on Google. I researched a little bit about it. I asked my company developers how these things work. So that's how I gained a lot of knowledge, and that's how I understood how Docker works. And especially there is something called Code Cloud videos. It's a DevOps platform, educative platform, where I learned a lot of stuff actually.
And I think this is a huge inspiration for those who they don't necessarily have like an IT background, right? But they would like to transition into tech, which
Yeah.
you've done that. And so what would be like the main advice you would give those who want to like transition into tech, not necessarily coming from an IT background?
Yeah, for me, the transition was not that easy at all, since I was not from a core tech or computers background. So I did my education in mechanical engineering, which was not related to computers at all. And then, but I did my MBA in marketing that helped me in tech marketing. When I got interviewed in this company called Shippable, the founders were pretty impressed with my marketing skills and strategies that I told them when they interviewed me. So they hired me. So, and I somehow entered the the DevOps route from this company. But then came the challenge of working with developers. You know, you can't bluff to developers or DevOps people, because they are the smartest people on earth. You can't market them or sell them something. So the time it was that time it was difficult for me to talk their language, and uh, from there I found my interest in understanding how things work, and started sharing my small stories on LinkedIn. People started liking my tech DevOps stories, and that's how I got my confidence over time. And from that point I never looked back. So now I write more than 25 on more than 25 tech platforms, and I have written over 100 DevOps articles. Yeah, is that the question you asked me? Right.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That transition actually to another question that I had. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm always like reading your articles. They're super insightful, and it's really great to the stories that you tell about different companies and
Yeah.
their journey and all that, right? So yeah, I definitely recommend everyone to follow Pavan to read his stories because they're super amazing. And you mentioned that you've written over 100 articles already, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the beginning, was it just part of the job, or what was really what inspired you to start writing about all of these stories?
Yeah. So, see, I found this gap in the industry where I can fit in really well, since I'm not from a core tech background. And developers are the smartest people on earth, like I said, but they are too busy with their everyday work, and hardly you see developers coming out, especially in India. That's what I see. I don't compare with the global community out there. And they usually come out. They rarely share their learnings. They share their stories, because they know exactly what solution they have given to the problem, right? So I thought to myself, I can fill this gap. So started researching on the things that developers like to read, and that's how I started reading and writing small text stories just to get an authentication and a confirmation from the audience that I can write really well. So I started realizing how beautiful the tech world is. I like engineering stories, such as how Facebook handles so much of traffic, what type of load balancers they use, what type of database they use. So I got to know. I started sharing such topics, such content on my LinkedIn. I started getting a lot of likes, and that's the point. I got to know this is really working. So there is no specific I can recall what inspired me to write or start sharing articles, but the love and support I received on my post is that what made me to do more and more every day consistently.
I see. Yeah, and I think it's super important as well, the the support from the community, right? Because it's not easy to write an article. I mean, I've
Yeah.
tried in the past, and there's so much details you need to think. And also, I think that your English is very impeccable as well when I'm reading, and so there's a lot that goes into like writing an article. So I know that it's not easy. Do you remember the first article that you wrote when you like started everything?
Yeah, the first article I wrote, yes, it was on, since I told you, I didn't start my career in DevOps, right? So it was on how to become a growth hacker on Medium, which is still one of the top search results on Google for the query, how to become a growth hacker, right? At that time, becoming growth hacker was trending all over in 2018, 2017. So I was hired to this startup as a growth hacker. I started reading about it. I made my own article, a list of strategies I wrote on Medium, and it went kind of viral. I got 400 claps on Medium. So yeah, that's the first one I remember.
That's awesome. And do you have a story that is like your favorite of all of the stories that you've written?
Yeah, one story I can recall from if on cloud native tech or DevOps, that is around successful and short Kubernetes stories for DevOps architects, was one of my favorite articles, because many people, I collected a lot of stories how big and small companies use Kubernetes. I made a list of them, and then I shared it as a PDF, and I also converted that into an article, a video. So that went really well, and many people told me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, tagged me, and they told me, "Hey, this is really wonderful." So that's one favorite thing.
Yeah, I'll make sure to share the link so others
Yeah,
can read as well. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
gonna put in the description of the video. All right, and also I came across on LinkedIn I saw that you started doing live streams as well, right? Can you talk about those live streams?
Yeah, so I'm really thankful to LinkedIn. They gave me the live broadcasting option. So since I was asking them for from many months actually, so finally they granted me that option, and I'm really grateful for them. So I want to start. I did two of my LinkedIn live shows. I just wanted to test how it goes, but in the coming future, I want to get a lot of leaders, tech leaders on the show, and I want to name it as Talk Tech with Pavan. Is my future plans on going live on LinkedIn.
And how can people can follow you and watch the live streams?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. On LinkedIn, because basically on LinkedIn, I'm very active on LinkedIn, and also on Twitter. But LinkedIn gives me a lot of love and support, so I'm 24/7 live. I mean, like active on LinkedIn. Pavan Belagatti. If you type Pavan Belagatti, that is the first link on Google which people can connect to.
Okay, great. And so just the next thing is that I have a little game for you. You want to play some game?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, so
Fun.
I've got some questions that I wanted to ask you, but instead of me just asking the way I was doing right now, we're just gonna do it in a form of a game. All right?
Sure, sure.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna play a game called Devops Cards.
Cool.
All right, so we're gonna play the little game called Devops Cards, and basically the way it works is I have 5 cards here. Each card has a question, and
Okay.
so you tell me a number. I'm gonna flip the card, and we're gonna see the question. If you're not okay with the question or you want to skip, just let me know, and I'm gonna give
Sure.
you two skips. Sounds
Sure, sure.
good?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So what's the first number you'd like to go for?
I'll go with three.
3. Let's see. All right. So number 3. So what skills have you learned which helped you succeed in your role?
Yeah, there are many, but the important ones, if I have to note here, are making relevant connections or relationship building. That's one very important. And the second one is storytelling, which I do on a constant basis, consistently every day. And the third one, I would say social media marketing skills, because that's what I believe in, because that was my first job, social media marketing guy. And the last one would be using relevant tools to automate things, uh, which I normally use. So these are the four things I can say, the skills which helped me to succeed in my role.
All right. So what's the next question? What number would you pick?
One.
1? All right, let's
Yeah.
see. Okay, so 1. So if you had to give some advice to your younger self about working in tech, what would that be? Would like to answer or skip this one?
I'll skip this one.
I skip this one? Yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
fine. You still have one more skip. All right, what number?
Four.
4. All right, let's see. All right, what was the most challenging technology you had to learn? Answer or skip?
Yeah, I'll skip this one too.
Skip this one too? All right, so we got 2 more, and you're gonna have to
Yes.
answer these 2 now.
Have to. Yeah, I know.
All right, let's
Yeah,
start with
second one.
number 2.
Yes. Sure.
What advice would you give someone trying to improve their public speaking skills?
Yeah, when it comes to public speaking skills, public speaking skills come gradually, and every day I'm preparing myself to become a great public speaker, right? So what I usually do is pick a topic, go in front of the mirror, and start speaking about it for at least like 4 to 5 minutes. The same can be done by recording yourself through camera or even Zoom. So that is one strategy I can tell. That's one thing which really helps. Take every day, do it consistently, so that you will improve day by day. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is something that it doesn't happen overnight, right? It's
Yeah.
all about the practice and kind of like exposing yourself. Yeah, I myself, when I started doing public speaking, I remember that my first time it wasn't the greatest because I was very nervous, but this is
Yep.
just part of the process, right? So you just need to
Exactly.
understand that you need to have patience with yourself. You need to keep trying and don't be too shy. Put yourself out there. Any sort of opportunity that you have, just take it and take and then think about it later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But
Yes.
yeah,
That's
most
true.
important thing is to like keep trying. Right.
Yes.
So let's see the last one. I think this one is quite similar. So what advice would you give someone that wants to improve their writing skills? I think you're the perfect person to talk about this.
Yeah, so it's the same like public speaking, right? It doesn't come overnight, like you said. I would give the same advice, like take a topic, do your research on how and what others have written on the topic, come up with a good outline, and start reading and experimenting. Not just read related articles, but also watch related videos on YouTube. There are a lot of videos, right? And once you get a familiar idea about each subtitle, start writing. Use tools like Grammarly. I would highly recommend using Grammarly. That can help you write well with all your grammar mistakes and all. So over time, start writing on free publications like Medium, Dev.to, DZone. So after Hashnote, there is also Hashnote. So you can start from here. Once people are reacting well, and you're on the right path, you can actually approach big publications, editors, moderators. Hey, can I have written this article, can you publish this? Then you will know that whether they accept, whether they give you the recommendations, the suggestions. Hey, you need to improve here and there. So that's a gradual process, just like public speaking. So I would say take a topic and start writing, or get a domain of your own, and then start writing there at least, because nobody is going to stop you if on the free platforms like your own website, or it's Medium or Hashnote, anything.
This is a great advice, and I actually had a follow-up question for you, because you mentioned about choosing a platform like Medium, DevTO, etc., to start writing articles, right? And so what kind of journey someone would have to go through in order to maybe like starting writing their own articles, maybe on a personal account on one of these platforms, to the point where they can be publishing articles in many platforms.
You start writing on these free websites where they allow you to write for free, and then once you start getting a lot of likes, lot of claps, and people start appreciating your writing skills. Sometimes they approach you asking, "Hey, Pavan, hey XYZ, can I take your article and publish it on my website?" And also, once you hit a particular time after spending writing, like maybe 6 months, 7 months, improving your skills, you can also approach people, for example the news stack, DZone, uh, Jack Center. So there are many others. You can go to their websites, there is contact page, you can go there and you can find their email IDs, and then send them your document, asking them, "Hey, can you go through my article? I want to submit this article to your website. If it's okay, then fine. If there are any suggestions, please tell me, I can change and resubmit it." So that is the process everywhere. That's what I followed. But initial days, may all the people rejected me. One article I would remember, the first I accepted is a DZone. They gave me a chance, and from there I got my confidence, and then I started writing. And many people give you a lot of advice, right? Hey, change this, change that, this is, we don't accept this thing. So over the years you will understand which platform will accept what type of content. Even if you search DevSecOps, you will know what type of content, what type of publication is accepting such articles. So that's how you learn over the years. So it's not one day or 2 day, even months. It might take 6 months to 7 months to go through this process. And yeah, that's what I have gone through.
And this is a fantastic tip, and I think what I really like is what you said is not to be afraid of failing as well. Not necessarily the first art is going to be popular, but the most important thing is for you to keep trying different
Exactly.
platforms, right? Thank you so much, Pavan, for coming and joining the show. It was, I'm super honored to have you here today. And thank you for sharing all of the ideas that, everything you do for the community, all of the articles that you write. And I'm sure a lot of people in the community appreciate that. And I'm gonna put your link to your LinkedIn so people can follow you and follow your
Yeah, sure.
stories and everything. Again, thank you so much, Pavan.
Thank you. Thanks, Renan.
What's up, builders? Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Build DevOps Show. If you did enjoy this episode, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button in our channel. And to be notified when we release new episodes, please turn on notifications and join our meetup group so that you can stay up to date with all of our new releases, workshops, and much more. Until next time.